What's up, guys? What do we have here today? Let's check it out.
This is entirely a domestic incident. So the suspect shot the mother of the child for children first, then responded to this location and shot 8 children, 7 of which being his own.
What? What the heck is going on? He shot his wife and 7 children of his. What is going on here?
Heartbreaking and horrific mass shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana. 8 children between the ages of 1 and 14 were killed in what police are calling a gruesome crime scene.
Sunday morning in Shreveport, Louisiana. The sun hadn't come up yet. Most of the Cedar Grove neighborhood was still sleeping. Porch lights on, dogs quiet. A normal weekend, about to turn into the worst day this city has ever lived through. Inside one small house on West 79th Street, 7 little bodies were lying where they'd been all night.
Whoa.
Tucked into beds, pressed up against cousins and siblings.
Damn.
Some still holding on to stuffed animals. None of them were going to wake up. An 8th child, a little boy, tried to make it out. He climbed up on the roof. Whoever put him up there, or whoever he followed up there, thought maybe up high meant safe. It didn't. He got shot on that roof, and his body stayed there until police found him.
Damn.
The oldest was 11.
Crazy.
The youngest was 3. And the man who pulled the trigger wasn't some stranger who broke in. He wasn't a burglar. He wasn't a neighbor with a grudge. He was their daddy.
What? So why on earth will someone unalive his own children? You need to be mentally ill to carry out an act like that. Why would you do that?
7 of those babies called him Daddy. The 8th was blood too, a cousin, family. Before that morning was over, he'd be dead himself, shot down in another parish after carjacking a stranger and leading police on a chase.
This man
His
is
wife
crazy.
would be in a hospital bed with a bullet in her face. His girlfriend would be fighting for her life in the ICU. This is the story of April 19th, 2026. This is the Shreveport tragedy.
Damn.
And we need to talk about how it got to this. To understand that morning, you have to understand Shamar Elkins.
Just
or at
look
least
at him.
who people thought Shamar Elkins was.
Look, hey, he's got a funny looking face though. Look at those eyes, those lips. It's like he got invited to the Epstein's Island. Just look at him.
He was 31 years old, born in Shreveport, raised in Shreveport, known all over Shreveport.
Damn.
From
This is
2013
serious.
to 2020, he wore the uniform of the Louisiana Army National Guard. His job titles sound important on paper: Signal Support System Specialist, Fire Support Specialist. He never got deployed overseas. He left the Guard as a private, no medals, no combat record. But he wore that uniform for 7 years, and to the people around him, that meant something.
Damn.
That meant discipline.
It's
That meant a
crazy.
man who could be counted on. He was a father 7 times over. 3 boys, 5 girls. His life on paper looked full. Church on Sunday, birthdays, school pickups, a house with children's voices in every room.
You
His
see,
wife was the mother.
This is how psychopaths look like. They appear to have a normal life. They are the church guys, the religious guys, but there'll be something crazy going on upstairs in their mind. Everything seems normal until they carry out a tragedy, until they do something very stupid. Why on earth would you unalive 8 children, 7 being your own and the 8th one being a cousin to your children? Why would you do that? This is serious, guys.
Mother of most of those kids.
Unaliving
Other
their
children
mom
came from
too.
other relationships. The Pews, the Snows, the Elkins kids, different last names, but all of them born from him. Cousins in and out of the house. A whole web of little lives tied to this one man. Now the cracks were there. They'd always been there. Back in 2019, Shamar did something that should have been a red flag the size of a highway billboard. He fired a handgun near Caddo Magnet High School. Children were outside. Bullets were going off in the direction of a school full of kids. You'd think that kind of thing would get a man put away. It didn't. He pleaded guilty to illegal use of weapons. The judge gave him 18 months of probation. No prison, no jail, no mandatory treatment. He walked out of that courtroom, went back to his life, and kept raising his children.
This is where I get mad at the judiciary system. And that's got nothing to do with the United States alone, all over the world. Sometimes these people are the people you need behind bars. They need to be taught a lesson so that they will stay away from children. They will stay away from innocent people. They need to be taught a lesson. Why would you let loose someone like this?
Let that sit for a second. A man discharged a firearm near a school, and the system looked at him and said, "Stay out of trouble for a year and a half and we'll call it even." 7 years later, those same hands would be used to end 8 young lives.
8 young lives.
On social media,
like
the picture he painted was a beautiful one.
This is
A
crazy.
few weeks before the killings, he posted an Easter photo. Him and his children all dressed up, fresh out of church, Sunday best, little bow ties, little dresses,
That's how they all
smiles
look
lined
like.
up across the
Like
couch.
everything is okay.
A man who looked blessed. Hours before the shooting,
Blessed.
he posted again. This time about taking his oldest daughter on what he called a daddy-daughter date, a burger spot. Just the two of them, the kind of post you scroll
was up
past
to
100
something.
times a day and never think twice about. That little girl had no idea. Neither did the internet. But 10 days before that morning, something had shifted. A post went up that hit different. Something about mental health. Something about praying. And not a clear cry for help. Not something you could screenshot and send to 911. Just a man who sounded tired, sounded low, sounded like he was carrying something heavy and didn't know where to put it down. People scrolled past it. What most of the world didn't see was the rest of it. Shamar and his wife were separating. There was a court date coming up, custody, the formal end of a life they had built together. Anybody who has ever been through a breakup with children involved knows how that kind of timeline works on a person. It winds you up. It backs you into corners of yourself you didn't know existed.
He needed help.
For some people, separation is a paperwork process. For others, it becomes a pressure cooker with no release valve. Shamar Elkins was in that pressure cooker. Cedar Grove, where this all happened. I will tell you everything about Shreveport if you know how to read a neighborhood. Working class, quiet, families that have been on the same block since the 90s. One man who lives on that same street, 71 years.
We all need someone to talk to sometimes, you know. We all need to open up to people sometimes. Tell them about our mental issues, what we are going through. We need to pour our hearts out sometimes because I think what also happened is that people scrolled past those Instagram posts he was putting out there. People just read them and thought he was some sort of psychopath who had nothing doing and just wanted to create a scene. But that's not it.
He's lived there 7. Caleb Pugh and Kadarian Snow, both 6.
Oh, damn.
Braylon Snow and Shayla Elkins, both 5. And the baby of the bunch, Jayla Elkins, just 3 years old. 3 years
This
old,
is so
a
sad.
toddler.
So sad.
Still learning her full sentences. 7 of those babies shared a father. 1 was a cousin. All of them were hours away from being gone.
Damn.
Now, before we get into exactly what happened when the sun came up on that block, do me one favor. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button right there. You could have called it. Nobody. Saturday, April 18th, 2026. Shamar Elkins did what a lot of separated dads try to do when the marriage is falling apart. He leaned into the father thing.
He was going
Hard.
through a lot.
He took his oldest daughter out, just the 2 of them, and he posted about it online. Daddy-daughter date, burger spot, a hug on camera, some smiles. The kind of post you see your cousin put up and double tap without a second thought. That same afternoon, the rest of the children were where they always were on a Saturday. Running around the house, watching something on a tablet, arguing over who got to pick the movie. Saraya, the 11-year-old, probably helping the little ones. Jayla, 3 years old, probably underfoot. Normal Saturday stuff. Shamar and his wife were in the middle of splitting up. The court date was coming. Custody. Who gets what? Who gets the kids when? Every fight you've ever had with a partner when a relationship is dying, they were having. Except with 7 children tying them together.
It's normal. There's
7
nothing
little reasons that
strange about
separation was never going to be clean. 10 days before that night, Shamar had posted something about his mental health, about needing prayer. The kind of post.
And nobody took him serious. He just made it clear to everybody out there that he needed help. He needed someone to talk to. But what happened? He was ignored.
You see and worry about for a half a second and then scroll past. His friends scrolled past it. His family scrolled past it. Because the man right next to it on the feed was posting pictures of his kids in their Easter outfits. Because the man right next to it was doing daddy-daughter dates. You don't think a man like that is about to snap. You just don't.
No, you never know.
The court date was hanging over him. The custody battle was real, and somewhere inside that head of his, the head that had worn a uniform for 7 years, the head that had fired shots near a school back in 2019 and got away with probation, the head that was praying online one day and posting burger photos the next. A decision was getting made. Not a crime of passion, not a snap,
Nah.
a decision.
He didn't know
Saturday
what to
night,
do.
the children went to bed. Most of them fell asleep together. Cousins and siblings curled up the way kids do when there's a house full.
Yeah.
Their mother was in the home. Their cousin was in the home. Outside, Cedar Grove was doing what it always did on a Saturday night. Cars settled on the street, television shut off. The block went quiet. Nobody on that street had any idea that Shamar Elkins was about to do something Shreveport had never seen before. 5 o'clock in the morning, Sunday, April 19th. Cedar Grove is asleep. The first scene was not on West 79th Street. It was on Harrison Street, at the home where his girlfriend. According to police, Shamar Elkins went there first. He shot her multiple times, critically. She was still breathing when officers finally got to her, but the rounds he put in her were the kind you have to fight for hours to survive. He left her there, alive, but barely. Then he got in a vehicle and he drove. Harrison Street to the 300 block of West 79th Street, about a quarter mile. 5 minutes at that hour with no traffic. A quarter mile between the 2 women in his life, and the 8 children about to die in between. He walked into that house on West 79th. His wife was there, the mother of most of his children. He shot her in the face, and then he kept going. The children were asleep. According to the Shreveport Police spokesperson, most of the children appear to have been shot in their sleep. Shot in the head, one after another, a small caliber handgun in his hand.
I'm finding it difficult to continue this. Sometimes we have to open up. We need people to talk to. And this man went to the extent of expressing his feelings and anxiety out there. He was going through a divorce. He was going through a difficult time, and people seemed to not pay attention to him. They thought he was seeking attention for publicity, or he was just trying to go, I don't know if I should use the word viral on the internet. But here is a man who didn't know how to handle a marriage breakup or a divorce, and he was trying everything possible to handle the situation, but things went sideways. Things went out of control, and he ended up unaliving his family.
7 little bodies: Jayla 3, Shayla 5, Braylon 5, Kayla 6, Kadarian 6, Layla 7, Markaden 10, Soraya 11.
We began with a community grieving after a mass shooting in Louisiana. 10 people were shot in Shreveport. 8 were killed, all of them children. The gunman also dead. Police say the attacks happened at 2 homes. CBS's Jason Allen is there for us tonight with the details. Jason.
Jarika, good evening. People are still filling the Shreveport neighborhood tonight, emotional and upset over this shooting that happened both at this house behind me and another one just up the road. And police told me in the last hour it was a survivor of the shooting who escaped and called them to tell them about it. Just after 6 o'clock this morning, when police got here, they found 10 people had been shot. 8 of them had been killed, and as you mentioned, all 8 of those were children. Police also confirming for me that at least 7 of those 8 children were the children of the shooter, who they identified as Shamar Elkins. After the shooting, police say that Elkins carjacked someone just down the street, got into a pursuit with police, stopped. They say he produced a handgun, and police officers shot him there at the scene. Louisiana State Police tonight are also involved in this investigation.
This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had.
This is very sad.
I don't know
sad.
what people think.
I don't wish this kind of tragedy for anybody, not even for my worst enemy. There are things people need to talk about. He just wiped out the whole family. I think if Shreveport is is it a town? Is it a city? What is it? Yeah, I think 50 Cent has a cinema studio there in Shreveport, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. It's so sad to hear issues like this, especially when it has got to do with children.
In the crevices of their mind, to want to harm another human being, let alone that of children who.
The police spokesperson had to stand at a podium later that day and describe what his officers walked into.
This is entirely a domestic incident. So the suspect shot the mother of the child for children first, then responded to this location and shot 8 children, 7 of which being his own. There was an additional child at this residence that was not akin to him. However, we're still working on relationships and whose parents for whose. It's a very hectic scene. There's a lot to investigate, a lot to unpack, and we want to do the best we can to come up with a clear timeline, a clear reasoning, even though cases like this, the reasoning will never be fully understood. We were contacted for the shooting. Our officers responded, located the scene, located the 8 individuals, the children that were dead, and they tried to provide aid where they could, but ultimately were unable to save any of them. There was a child that jumped off the roof. We were able to get him to a hospital, and he is expected to survive. There's also 2 adult females that were injured during this mass shooting.
Imagine living the rest of your life with this trauma on you. I think these kids, the kid that survived, will never be the same. He will have a lot of trauma to deal with, because this is something children are always expecting good things from their parents, you know. No child would ever want to see his dad raise a gun at them and be shooting at them. No, it's something that children do not expect from their parents. And I'm sorry though, I'm very sorry.
They are both in critical condition. We are hopeful that they will survive. One is significantly more critical than the other. So we all keeping their families in our thoughts and prayers.
He didn't reach for poetry. He said the scene was disgusting.